Hello viewers, welcome to another edition on Behind the News on the Nation Online TV. I am Ayooluwa Ayobami, and as I mentioned earlier, this is Behind the News where we analyze, dissect few of the stories from our national dailies. However, I am not in the studio here alone, as I have with me my delectable, amazing, analytical, logical, fantabulous, well-oriented, detailed analyst. Did I add analytical? Yeah, very analytical analyst. Mr. Abimbola. Mr. Abimbola, good afternoon.
Mr. Rajati, good afternoon.
I mean, this is the last day in the month of April, and it's just nice. Over since the beginning of the year, or let's say since the beginning of the month, Mr. Abimbola has not been, he has not been short of being amazing and being analytical, being detailed and well-oriented, and it's just proper to just give you the accolades and give you your flowers.
Mr. Rajati, good afternoon.
Let's quickly move on to the business of the day, and we are going to in the studios today. We have few of our national dailies talking about the Nation newspaper. We have Leadership newspaper. We have This Day newspaper, and we also have Daily Trust in the studios this afternoon. And before we go into analyzing, I'll quickly run through the headlines. I'll run through the headlines in these national dailies, and I'm going to start with our very own, talking about the widely circulating newspaper, The Nation newspaper. And on the window page, we have how Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in Lagos hotel by witness. Lawmakers indict NCC Telecos over kidnappings, others. Oyetola gives out 42,000 life jackets to facilitate waterways safety. Agbakoba demands retraction of Natasha's allegations against Akpabio. Lagos Calabar Highway foreign investors network seeks Tinubu's intervention over $250 million loss. And on the window page we have Okowa. On the feature story we have Okowa, Atiku's 2023 bid for president insensitive. PDP to sue Delta governor, others. Court okays playing of disc in Emefiele's case. EFCC detains Aisha Achimugu over alleged 8 billion naira deal. And over to Leadership newspaper. NSA orders joint security screening of passengers at airports. McCartney elected Canada's Prime Minister. Failed water project. Nigeria to pay World Bank $6.25 million yearly for 40 years. 14 mourners killed, others missing in fresh Chibok attack. And the lead story, they have defections, PDP's destruction, threats to democracy, Sule Lamido. Again, Ayoku calls for new constitution. CJN warns against frivolous petitions against judges. 2027, stakeholders warn against hijack of INEC. EFCC arrests Imoni over Naira dollar bills. And over to This Day newspaper. NNPCL sacks Balawunsi, other top officials 27 days after Kyari's exit. Okowa, for stable Nigeria, Tinubu should complete 8-year tenure. Zenith Bank delights shareholders with dividend payout of 195.67 billion naira, promises quantum leap in future dividends. And finally, to Daily Trust. FBI orders to release Tinubu probe report Friday. Alleged money laundering. Achimugu to appear in court today. ISWAP claims responsibility for Borno attack as death toll hits 26. Okowa's choice as running mate cost Atiku 2023 presidency, Moro. We trek for miles, Minor resident says as curfew bites. Soldier to die by hanging for killing girlfriend. How dozens of civilian JTF died defending communities in Borno, Yobe, Adamawa. NNPCL appoints Idrisu Obioma, sacks Port Harcourt Refineries MD 200 others. And these are the headlines in these national dailies that we have in the studios this morning. And there's a reality story in all these national dailies, Mr. Abimbola, you could tell, and that is the story surrounding the mass defection from the People's Democratic Party to the ruling All Progressives Congress, with the recent defection from Delta State political structure. I mean, it has taken there are different sides and different stories, with everybody giving their own opinion, even with the former governor of the state, who was also the 2023 running mate with the PDP's presidential candidate, talking about Okowa, the former governor of Delta State. He even coming to say that he regrets running along with Atiku. I mean, all these issues surrounding the political structure, and now with Lamido also saying PDP's destruction threats to democracy. I mean, isn't defecting from a political party to another political party, isn't that by choice?
Well, it might not be strictly by choice. Well, it's by interest.
Okay.
At times your choice will panel your interest. You know, we so collapse your interest that you find that it's better to follow your interest than to stick with your choice. That's the political nitty-gritty. But let's start with the basics. Let's get it straight. Defecting from one party to another party, particularly when you are holding an elective post, for me is fraudulent. And I don't think that culture should be encouraged in our politics. But that's talking as a political purist, you know. But then the Nigerian politics from 1999, which this same PDP started, was anything from being, from being Puritan. In fact, it was the practices, the illicit, dirty practices that the PDP, entrenched, that is coming back to own them. But unfortunately for people who cannot follow history, but fortunately for people who can keep track, there is a lot of cant, a lot of humbug, a lot of rubbish being spewed by the PDP because they are victims of their own devices in the past now. People talk of the political structure collapsing. Okay, APC has 22 now from 21 governors. You know, this is 2025. In 2007, the PDP so manipulated the system that they had 31 out of 36 governors. All these guys who are dreaming collapse and all that, they never said back then the place was collapsing. What you sow, you are going to reap. That's the problem of the PDP. I don't pity them. As a purist, I wish we didn't have this sort of mess in the political system. But as a realist following the political system, PDP is only sowing, reaping what they've sown, and they shouldn't be crying. Then there is a lot of comics, comical tragedy or tragedy comedy or comical tragedies, or both of them, in all these reactions. For instance, Lamido, who was from a minister of foreign affairs, Obasanjo was even touting him as a possible presidential candidate then. He was saying that PDP was being subverted, and if they didn't stop it, the democracy might collapse. Yeah. I don't know whether they're being subverted, and I don't have all the facts. I don't have all the facts. But I want to say, when PDP was subverting other parties, and they were saying that they are going to rule 16 years, did they raise a voice then? Now they are playing to the gallery. Saraki jumped up, he was criticizing Okowa. That one came back to him. So if everybody is criticizing me, not you. You defected before.
So he came back.
And Saraki is now, singing maybe, oh, look, be just a reverse. People who have led the PDP, they will remove themselves. They are the shaft, and the way we band together, get a more formidable PDP. Well, I pray for them. I read that one too. But even that one cannot be coming from the mouth of Saraki. Because Saraki not only left the PDP, not only betrayed the PDP, he betrayed the APC that he joined by trading off the APC right, Deputy Senate President. His candidate there is in jail in London now. Ekurumadu was the legit Deputy Senate President under the last PDP government in 2015. But he did the trade with Saraki. Saraki gave him what should have been an APC right to occupy. He collected it. Saraki too, how do I put it? He betrayed his own party. Don't betray now. He betrayed the PDP.
Where was coming from?
By defecting from PDP to APC, the so-called PDP, new PDP. When they got to PDP, when they got to APC, because of his blind determination to get to land the Senate President, he betrayed the APC too. Of course, that was the beginning of his end in politics, because the next election was routed. His whole structure was routed in Kwara. A Kwara that had been a PDP, AMPP, 1999 to 2003. From 2003, he had been a PDP government because of the old Dr. Shola Saraki, bless his soul. He now collapsed everything the father gave him, and he became an outsider. So, if Okowa said that criticizing him should not come from the mouth of Saraki, he has very good point there. You know. Then people are talking about what the other people were they making. Okowa. Okowa himself is, you know, in the Bible we talked of Saul that turned Paul after the blind flash on the way to Damascus. Now, Okowa is Paul that turned back to Saul in PDP. What do I mean? He looked back. He said it was a mistake for him to have run on the ticket with Atiku. This guy, the guy was the Minister of Internal Affairs when the stadium, that was this stadium, what was it, from Benue. He criticized him in this leadership story now. Well, it's a senator now.
Is it not Moro?
Moro, yes. Yeah, Abba Moro. Abba Moro said that the guy was a liability, you know, because people, he was on the ticket, he couldn't win Delta for PDP and Atiku. That's right. That's correct, but to a point. The real point was that why couldn't he have met? He was the outgoing governor, was vice presidential candidate. Why couldn't he, with all his pull and influences, make the state, win the state for PDP? That was the analysis Okowa was making. That look, it was a mistake that even while they were campaigning, he saw that the people did not want another person from the north to be president. Now he joined the ticket, and he joined the ticket, and he felt that looking back now, it was that even then he realized it was a mistake. That right now he felt that he should make that mistake by going to the other side. By realizing the mistake does not mean he should have close to. That's not what I'm saying. But I think the man was bold enough to say, look, I made a mistake, and I'm moving away from the mistake and all that. The problem of PDP is that they never, like Okowa, ever tell themselves the truth. The main problem of the party from 2023 was Atiku. Atiku knew that President Buhari had just finished 8 years. He was from the north. There's this quiet agreement that if the north does 8 years, South will do 8 years. They not just completed his own 8 years. It was in front of the South. He said he wanted to commit, he wanted to become president willy-nilly. He went and contested for the presidential ticket. Not only that, this former Speaker of the House of Representatives from Sokoto State, what's his name now? I keep on forgetting this. You know, the guy was who the ACA had to become Speaker.
Yes.
Against the wish of the Tambuwal.
Tambuwal.
Tambuwal withdrew for him. You know, and that was why I was able to beat Wike. That was offense number 1. Because that was a crass insensitivity to the feelings of Southerners in the party. Offense number 1. Now, offense number 2, he promised to pick PK. He didn't pick him. If you ask me, I wouldn't have picked PK as my own friend because he's just too powerful a figure. Wike is either the head or nothing. He's serving as minister at FCC now. If you are minister of state, that place will have scattered. Because his personality is too full. He has a false personality. So you see that is governor, never deputy governor, minister, never minister of state, president, never vice president. Now, Atiku was, I think Atiku, if you are talking of survival, was trying not to have picked Wike. But then Wike was only a symbol or something. So, for promising to pick Wike and not, Wike said, okay, he wasn't even care, he didn't care about that because he knew that Atiku never keeps his words. He said so. But beyond that, if you have picked Wike, no matter the chaos that would have ensued after, they probably will have had the better chance, you know, at that election. He did pick Wike. Then number 3, he started this fight. I don't know who started the fight, but they started the fight. And that fight started the PDP. So if everybody wants to point fingers, should be to Atiku, not to Okowa. Then before Atiku, when Obasanjo was there, it was only under Obasanjo they were laying all these bad, terrible examples. Obasanjo saw that 2007 election is the worst in Nigerian history. The worst. That was the time they reached the level so much that they had 31 governors. Out of 31 governors, Edo, Ondo, Ekiti were pride of them because they were proved that the election had been rigged. Forensically, it was proved that the people that voted, it was cow shells that voted, not top pigs. It was under Obasanjo. And Obasanjo had boasted that the election would be a do or die affair. And the people that were killed, I was on the Ayobami, you know, campaign then as a media consultant. We were nearly killed at headquarters, campaign headquarters, but we went to the election. The election was March 14 or so, if I remember. We were at, was it March or April 14? It was April 14 or so. We were attacked on April 7, around 10:30 in the night in our campaign headquarters. They were shooting in all over the place. So it was a bloody election. When they were cooking up all the crimes, the lives of Lamido and the Benue guy, they were sitting pretty. They felt that they could always cheat and get away with it. So whatever happens to PDP, they don't have any my sympathy. I will not, or nor should they have the sympathy of any right-thinking person. They haven't said that. You see, the disease, I mean the symptom in this case is that people are defecting from party A to party B or vice versa and all that. These are just symptoms. The real disease is the sickness of the party system. Somewhat from 1999, we've not really mastered, you know, the act of growing and strengthening our political parties. Because if you are if you are in the US, for instance, even though Trump is banalizing the whole thing right now, but so if you are in the US, you are a Democrat, you are a Republican, if people are crossover, if you statistically, if you did a smart, but even those few, they will express strong reasons why you are crossing as a Dem, you know, to GOP or vice versa. But yeah, you just say we want to follow our people want to do that. I don't think it's good for our political system. And the APC, it's only for them too. APC was never a victim of those past injustices. But the legacy parties, AD was so cheated, bulldozed by the PDP on the that AD, which won, I think, 6 governorships in 1999. He got a time, AD could not win a single council election all over the country. He got the registered. That was part of the crime of the PDP. ANPP, who used to be GPP, All People's Party, later on Nigerian People's Party, his president, Senator, what's the name of Waziri? Something Waziri, that was his name. He was the party chairman. Obasanjo co-opted him, made him a political advisor to his presidency. Of course, that was the end. The man eventually resigned by 223. 203. He was shooting for PDP. And that was why they tried to subvert the ANPP itself. Which other party? Which other delegates the ABDA, that was a rebellion in the APC too. I mean, a rebellion in the PDP in the East. So this, even if APC was not the victim of the shenanigan of, allied shenanigan of the PDP passenger, the legislative parties were. It was this same President Tinubu that fought back, reclaiming APC, AD, left AD, from AAD, from AC, Action Congress, from Action Congress to Action Congress of Nigeria, from Action Congress of Nigeria was 2011. Action Congress was in Lagos State. It was from 2007. 2007. Even all over the country. That was why Atiku was the presidential candidate. By 2011, when Obadi was the presidential candidate, it was 6 years. It was 6 years with all negative, Buhari left ANPP because of betrayal. Because of this same PDP was subverting the party. He now went to CPC, Congress of Progressive. So it was those legacy parties that formed. It is what I have to say. The APC too should be very, very careful. Because the records will lay will come back to what to. Is the case of PDP we are seeing today. We don't know what will happen in the future TV. So they too, while they are, enjoy the moment, enjoy the shishi now of defection, they should know that it's not a sustainable way to grow the political party. And if you want this democracy to really deliver the good, you must be growing and strengthening the political parties. Any other way is a shortcut to doom.
But Mr. Abimbola, do you think that the defectors now, all their excuses are not just born out of we just have to say something to defend our defection? Because come to think of it, somebody like Okowa, if the PDP had won in the last election, Okowa would have been the vice president. Now, if he's the vice president, would he have come out to say he regrets or he's regretting? Because it should be continuous. Say he's regretting working for Atiku, or because now he's trying to say, okay, even the citizens, the people, then they're not interested, just like you said, but then he just had to do it. Now, he made it look as if he did it under duress or under pressure.
Well, it's from my mind. If he was vice president now, he probably will not complain. He probably will not. But then, if he was sincere, as he's telling us, he probably knew he will never be vice president. That it was a wrong move. We will never know. We are just projecting now. Whatever he says, whatever people say, people who carpet him, he's entitled. He has earned the odium. Because, like you said, if he was private president now, all this will be cleared by the moonlight.
Yes.
Right now, the thing didn't follow. He will pay for his own opportunism. If his people were not comfortable with his choice, why did he go ahead with it?
Exactly the question.
Why did he? And if he did, whatever flag he got there, he should just take it as his discharge. You know, but I know all the people involved in the PDP, they are getting what is due to them. And they should stop crying. They should be sincere with themselves. Atiku should go and sit down because he's the principal cause of this problem. Already he's preparing now. You want to go on another, which I can tell you is going to be another futility. Because, you know, he was hoping that he was going to drive the PDP to some sort of coalition. If you are going to do some coalition, it has to be a coalition of interest. It will not be the coalition that will just be favorable to one person and one person alone. All Atiku is doing now, just like what he did in 2023 and what he did in 2019, wanted to be president. In 2019, he went to Obasanjo prostitute. Somebody who are reading the book, if you ever, you know, supported Atiku again, God will punish him because he was a useless man. He took the lives of Oyedepo and all these political priests to go to Abimbola to go and be begging Obasanjo and say he had forgiven him and he supported. He forgot that even Obasanjo tried to float a coalition. He found out that he didn't have any community value. The thing disappeared even before it started. Now it's another route to nowhere now. So I think we should tell himself some truth. If you want to ruin his political something, why take the PDP along with him? But like I said, PDP is they are suffering from their own bad. The past seats, bad seats they grew the past. It has, you know, germinated now. It's a big oak tree, and they cannot cut away, so they should do with it. But for the sake of our political system, people should sit down and do some introspection. At least Okowa has done some introspection. He doesn't claim of his own opportunism. Yeah. We have been inspired to see that I made a mistake and I came. When did you ever survive? Just say he regretted that 2007 was going to be, you know, a do or die. He kept on saying that it was the best election that ever happened. That sort of breathing life that kept on saying people. And they knew that that was a lie. The same thing with Atiku. Atiku wants to be president. Even if the country collapses, letting the president over the smoke. It doesn't work that way. You want to build a coalition, it should be a coalition of group interest, not personal, not one person. And that is the problem with the PDP. Many of them who are saying that they are staying with PDP now, they are not even telling themselves the truth. And if you don't analyze the thing correctly, how do you get out of that problem? That is the number one problem of PDP. But the APC should watch it. That people are, you know, coming to your party does not mean they are going to integrate. Yeah, they come, they solve a problem, they create 2 or 3 others. So how do you manage them?
So to you, PDP deserves what they are getting.
Absolutely, more than. They deserve it and more than it.
More than it.
Yes.
But now you are saying the APC should also watch their
back. Watch it.
It's looking as if they are the two being used to repay PDP of their.
Well, APC could say that their legacy parties, they suffered under PDP. Okay, they do me, I do you, God not the very, like saying PDP, you know. But the fact is, you see, karma never forgives. What to do, you get. That's karma. Look at Wiki and Amici in River State. Wiki kept on carpeting Amici. Amici was the benefactor of God's sake. Although he said that he was the one who was helping Amici, but Amici was governor, he was chief of staff. Amici, you know, Amici, what do I put it, helped him to become Minister of State under Jonathan, you know. So Jonathan told him, well, Jonathan, the wife, directly, you know, the Jonathan is from River State, Okrika. So it was the first lady who was using Wiki against Amici then another, because Amici he defected from PDP to APC. But look at the scene, the way he was battering Amici there without a care. he helped somebody to become governor, and that person was doing the same thing for you. That's karma. You have to break it up. Which is why APC has a greater responsibility if they are thinking strategically. They are thinking of the good of the political party system, which will be the eventual good of the democratic governance. They should have a way to cut that cycle, at least end it, so that it doesn't happen, occur and recur. Because if it does, it will only lead to doom. It's not going to help anybody. Even if they are present beneficiaries now who are
beneficiaries. But they need to foresee the future and see beyond now.
Yeah, and see how they can think about it.
Finally, before we go, because presently at the moment the mass defection could be seen or can be seen as a win for the APC at the moment. But do you also buy the idea of Sule Lamido that it is also a threat to democracy?
That one is just what do you call it in psychology? Sour grapes. Somebody give you something, they say the grape, they give you they say give me my grape. They say what grape? It was a sour grape. They say what and you crunch it. When you are crunching it, you didn't know it was sour. That's sour grape. They are just scribe baby analysis. It's not like I said, when they need 31 governors out of 36, Lamido was he saying that democracy was collapsing. But I don't know the one boasting that even though the guy who made that statement is dead now, said they are going to rule for 60 years in the first instance. That was PDP at the acme of their power hubris. They are going to rule for 60 years. After 16 years, they threw them under the bus. And they progressively they are diminishing until they disappear like it did. They used to disappear. So these guys are not sincere. They are just doing motive analysis for and he was speaking at BBC. He knew what they wanted to hear. I was telling them that it doesn't. But that's not to say that there has not be a conscious effort to build the political party system. That was my opening gambit. The political system must be strengthened, must be built. It doesn't matter whether you are the real party, you are the opposition party. Build your party. Put it on something, have a solid foundation. By then, you can have a party move from one party. Look at Ghana, for instance. There's almost, a pattern now. One party will rule for 8 years, for 10 years. Their own is 5 years. Then the other party will come and take over. There's a early change, Nigeria will go the ones. PDP rule for 16 years. So 200 was. APC is now in its own 10th year. We'll see, But build the party system, sell vigorous ideology, have powerful viewpoints that provide sharp alternatives so that voters can choose. And even if they decide to vote for party A, they are quoting some systems, some programs, some policies. Not just this amorphous thing that you don't seem to want to know it. Even though people say PDP and APC are the same, I don't think they are the same. The record of APC in 10 years now is far better in terms of what you can see than the record of PDP in 50 years. And people can go and fast check that. But they too should be ideologically more driven so that there will be a sort of balance, some sort of distinction between them and PDP.
PDP wants to sue the Delta State government. Do you see that effort succeeding or is dead on arrival?
Whether they like to go to court.
Yeah, I mean.
That will have to is never right. But the chairman himself said that if you want to remit you, they will say because of the turmoil. They have no case in court. Because there is division in the party, and Constitution says that if there is division, that's the only way you can opt out of the party, and that is the thing. So what are they saying? Let me leave the legal scene apart. You have a problem. Then you are digging yourself. You are making threats. You are losing blood every day. Then you are flaging muscles. Meanwhile, you need muscles. You need more blood to flare your muscles. the weaker your muscles are because you are still flexing your. Is it not stupidity? These guys you sit down beyond with themselves and explain their problem and start rebuilding. They are trying to go to court. So money you do and you go and spend it in court. A case you are not going to be in anyway. And even during the case, I people say that I don't go to court and return home as friends. So who do they want to, the people that are taken to court, you still gather them, mobilizing a party member. The guys will, they don't have to get very that they are all brain dead, they should do something better. It's so comic.
Do you finally now, do you see any major opposition in 2027 with the state of things?
Well, it's still a long time ago. I mean, 24 hours is a long time ago. Let's see. I don't have a crystal ball.
Okay.
But let's see how it happens. For one, I don't get exactly over some of these things. When they announced the thing when we were doing an editorial board last year, I said, well, what are we not seeing? Let's see how it pans out. We'll see. But you see, at the end of the day, politics is not about any elite rascality or opportunistic defection and sundry notoriety. Politics is about the welfare of the people. And anybody, any party that has policies and programs that put the poor and its disadvantage at the core of its policy will always be a winner. The problem with Nigeria today is that they don't seem to see any party do that. APC is they are following their policy as they say. But you see, because they are doing some neoliberal policies that seem to cause pain for the people, you know, the numbers they are turning out. It looks good. I mean, just like accountant looking at the papers, okay, these are good numbers, but those numbers have not trickled down and made any terrific difference in the lives of people, and that is the danger. As far as the policy of the people, what they said they would do, that's what they were doing. They said they were going to remove subsidy, they removed this. They said they were going to flow in another, they did this and all that and all that. But whereas that removal of subsidy has stopped money going to illicit hands. Money is now going to illicit persons, but those illicit persons, state government, they have not done enough to ease the pace for the people on the street. So whatever gains the subsidy removal, you know, as approach, people have not felt it, and that is the problem. But they still have 2 years, and they say the government working, and we pray for them. We should always pray for our government.
We'll keep praying.
But it's still not rural. We've not gotten there, and that is the danger. So whether there will be any other this thing, we don't know. But the chances are, let's see, we'll see.
Let's just see the chances. So whatever it is that the government are doing, they should make sure it has an effect on the common Nigerian.
Yeah, they are racing against time. They blind race against time, man.
They should affect the common Nigerian. So and also I could deduce from what you said earlier that because this does not only apply to the PDP or the political system as a whole, but to individuals, we also always learn to tell ourselves the truth. If we are actually planning for the future, like beyond the now, we should tell ourselves always the truth and strategically plan towards the future to avoid a collapse of a structure that must have taken maybe many years or many months to build. Thank you so much, Mr. Abimbola. I said it earlier that my analysis is very detailed, analytical and logical, and our viewers can be a witness. But then we really have to go now, and I mean, it's till next month before we see again on this program, and that is me.
So see you next month.
See you next month. So our viewers, with that, we'll call it a wrap on the show of Behind the News on The Nation Online TV. Many thanks. I remain Ayooluwa, Ayobami. Bye for now.